Hello, I'm Tim.
And I'm Sally.
And we're from Group, the volunteer management platform that looks after your people, communications, governance and data. And welcome to the DropShot Drop-In. Each of these episodes are fresh and only 5 minutes long, and before we start, I'd like to point out that Sally never knows what the topic or subject could be about. Today, we're talking about why humour is so important in your work environment or for your volunteering role. Sally, what are your thoughts?
Straight into it,
ever.
So we talked about this briefly yesterday, actually.
Yes.
We touched on it for volunteering. Absolutely crucial for the workplace. You don't want people clowning around all day long because that just becomes a distraction. But I think it can help ease very stressful situations. I think it can help bring people together. I think it's surprising, actually, the people you think don't have the humour, where that comes from. And it can make people feel part of something. Not everyone gets humour. I'm actually really rubbish with jokes, as you are finding out. But fortunately, your jokes are so silly that even I get them. But I do think that in some of my board jobs where I've sat on, there's one social housing body I was on for several years, the chair there was fabulous at keeping everything sort of really seriously focused and every now and again lightening it up and bringing people together with a bit of gentle humour, and sometimes, quite daft humour as well. But I think it's important to have everyone laughing. It calms people down a little bit.
Yeah. Absolutely. And, thinking of the reasons why it could be key to success of a business, people, I think, will enjoy working with you. You spend a lot of time with these people. What do you reckon?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's the only reason I put up with you, Tim.
Yeah, thanks. Well, my jokes are, second to none at the end of the. Yeah, thanks. Humour as well is a bit of a stress buster.
Yeah, I think, for me, stress for me is released by my sport, because I play a lot of sport, but also by laughter and people making me really giggle. And actually, if I do both, sometimes I've been known to get really bad giggles on call, and really literally where you're crying with laughter, that is just nothing better than just that whole release of those stress.
And you actually mentioned just a minute ago about putting others at ease.
Yeah.
Having that relationship with those people. If people do start to come into an organisation.
Yeah, I always, when I'm trying to interview people or bringing somebody first in, I try to do something light-hearted, not necessarily making jokes. I'm rubbish at remembering jokes, so. But just being light-humoured about something and just being friendly, I think it just goes a long way to making you more accessible.
Yeah, and it also boosts morale within a team. If you have got that sort of bit of humour within there, everyone here is is pretty humorous, if you like.
Yeah, when we have our team meetings, we often have something funny at the beginning, don't we?
Bit of an icebreaker.
Just for a bit of fun. We've done some really daft stuff as well. It doesn't have to be really daft, especially if you're not in a if you're in a serious kind of role. But actually, I think even in some ways, that's why they say that people in the medical world have black humour, because they're having to counter stuff that's really hard and really tough to manage, and humour really just relaxes people.
That release.
That release again.
And people who tend to use humour can sometimes be a bit more approachable. They've got that maybe potentially a bit more relaxed. I don't know whether you've found that with if there is someone who has got a good sense of humour, maybe they're more approachable because they've got that sort of release, if you like.
Yeah, it just makes you feel a bit calmer than someone being completely deadpan. Now, I do again recognise some people just haven't got that humorous side to them, and it's also about recognising that for some people. Personalities are very different, and we just sometimes have to be compassionate to people who haven't quite got that ability to share the same jokes and so on.
Yeah, and I think there is obviously a time and a place for it as well.
Is.
As you said, in sometimes the board meetings, general work time. I think there is a time and a place, like you said, maybe on a badminton court that is much better for rather than actually in a work environment with everyone. So
personally, I think humour on a board meeting is more crucial than at any other time. But then
yeah, it could well be.
Board meetings, no matter where you are, they're always very intense and very serious. Whether you're a small business, a charity, or a big corporate, they're always pretty intense. So it's quite nice to get people to kind of laugh together and remember that people are human behind their job roles. You know, and I know it's easier. We're a small business, and 19 of us all together. And it's easier for us to have those conversations between us and have that jokey environment. But you can do that in a big organisation. You just need to do it in your silos, with your team. And you can't affect everybody, but if you can affect your team and make them smile, that's got to be a positive thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
For everybody.
That actually brings me on to the point that it could actually potentially increase productivity.
Yeah, because it can interrupt you, but if you're making the odd joke and it makes you smile and you feel a bit more energised to carry on, then that's got to be a good thing. I've got friends who send me jokes and or images or things to make me smile, and I think that makes you then just face your next 2 hours of work in a much more positive way.
Yeah, absolutely. Lovely. Well, 5 minutes seems to fly by pretty quickly. Thank you for your time again. This has been the DropShot Drop-In. Again, if anyone wants to leave any of their thoughts or comments down below, then please feel free to do so. We will try and get round to looking at them, maybe replying to some of them.
Or please send me some jokes that I can do back at Tim.
Yes, yeah, that would be a really good point to have. I'd like to see some of Sally's humour as well. And again, for the joke of the day before we do finish, I actually met the man who invented the windowsill the other day.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he was a bit of a ledge.
Thank you, Tim.
They don't get any better.
No.
Thanks,
Thank
everyone.
you. Bye.
Bye-bye.